Welcome to the Sold on Symphony podcast. This podcast is designed to help real estate professionals like you get ahead by connecting you to a wider network of industry experts. We invite them right here on the show to share their stories, their experiences, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Today, we had Amanda Bernardini with Cross Country Mortgage. She dove into her humble beginnings as a mortgage assistant while running a bakery on the side. And since then, she's climbed the ranks in the world of loan origination and is very quickly becoming one of the most sought after LOs in the industry. She's a very busy person, so I was very grateful to have her stop by and share a little bit of her journey and even give some helpful tips and advice to other real estate professionals. Let's get right into our conversation. Well, why don't we get started? Amanda, thanks for being here. Much appreciated. You are very busy, and for you to take time to come and share your, insight, your stories, all that is a big deal. So
thanks for having me, Erik.
Of course. I'm very excited about today.
I need an excuse to come to the Burge,
Honestly, yes. Like real estate agents who work here, we can work from home if we want to, but why?
I know. So beautiful.
I used to like my house until I started working here.
Right.
And now my house is ugly. in my opinion.
I know. It's such a great view.
Well, I know that a lot of people already know you because you do have a lot of business and, you've been around in the industry for a long time. But why don't you start by just introducing yourself and maybe a little bit about what you were doing before and how you got into the whole thing.
Yeah, well, my name is Amanda Bernardini. I work for Cross Country Mortgage. I am a loan officer. Right out of college, I was supposed to go to grad school for psychology, and I did the whole thing where I took a year off. And I went right into a local bank, Evans Bank, actually, and started over there in the the mortgage ops department. Basically just assisting. So that's how I got started.
And I want to get into that, but quick question.
Yeah.
When you took your year off, was it because you didn't really want to go to college or, because that's what I did. I took a year off and.
No, I really liked school. I just didn't think I knew what direction I wanted to take it.
Right.
I was doing IO Psych, which is like psychology in the workplace. And I just wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to go, if I wanted to do clinical or like HR or anything like that. So
then you got a job at M&T,
Evans,
you said? Evans,
and just never went back after that.
What was your first job at Evans?
I was like a mortgage assistant, and then I worked my way up.
What is a mortgage assistant?
I remember I would carry like files in and out of the safe. Like I was making like labels, helping them with like instruction manuals for their programs and things like that. And then eventually moved into like a quality control auditing type of role. So I was kind of all over the place in the mortgage department there.
That's actually such a classic story that you don't hear very often these days. Like my dad is he was a machine tool and die, like working with metal kind of person. And I think a lot of people, when a lot of the steel mills and like auto factories and stuff were around, you'd start by sweeping floors, just doing like grunt work, stuff like that. And eventually a person would be like, hey, well, I'm going to teach you how to use this machine. And then you work your way up. So that's pretty much what happened with you.
That's what I did. I started at the bottom. Yeah. At bottom, I guess you could say. You got to learn the ropes, and I'm very grateful for that because I truly think if I hadn't, done all of that and been a processor for a very long time and had that experience, the way I do business would look completely differently. So,
how long you been in the industry now?
Yeah, it's been like 13 or 14 years now.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
That's a long time.
I know.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So now you're with Cross Country Mortgage.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about what you do there?
So I'm a loan officer, so it's all a sales role. So, and I have a team, a loan officer assistant and a processor and basically a pipeline manager. And my main function is, talking to clients and helping them get offers accepted, fitting them into the best mortgage product that fits their needs. And, it's the front-facing person in the transaction.
Okay. And with like 13 years of experience and all the various roles that you had leading up to it, how did those roles at Evans and at different places, different roles you had, how did it shape what you're doing now? Did it give you good insight? Has it,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very solutions focused. So because I worked on the back end, I know and can anticipate any potential pitfalls, for people's situations. So, I know what underwriting, which is a person that approves the file, what they're going to look for and just things to watch out for. So, that background helps me to identify up front if there's going to be any issues. And also if there's an issue during the transaction, helps me find a resolution pretty quickly. Like I'm very involved if there's issues or things that needed additional attention throughout the process. Like I very much babysit everything from application to close. So, having that experience is crucial in my business for sure.
You know what? I actually forgot to ask you before you came. I've been asking our guests to bring something that's like a little personal, like something that a little memento from their life, something that's meaningful for them.
Sure.
Did you bring something with you?
I brought
Can you show us?
two things.
Okay, we'll allow the rule break there.
Okay.
But let's see what you got.
So my first thing is the first dollar I ever made from my business. So I briefly opened up a bakery during my mortgage career while I was still doing it. It lasted for like a year and a half. It was really fun. But that was just like kind of ultimately the thing that allowed me to transition into a sales role. That was like what got me out of my comfort zone. So I'm always thankful for that chapter in my life.
Very cool. Is that in your office? Keep that in your office? Cool.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Very cool.
And then my second thing is my babies.
Let me see those babers.
So cute.
Oh my gosh. Is that a very recent picture?
A few months because my daughter is now 11 months old. So
okay.
Yeah. So that was like right after she was first born. It's
right,
James the Third and Charlie.
James the Third and Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie is did you say little girl?
Yeah.
I love the name Charlie.
I know, I'm obsessed
for a
with
girl.
it. So
nice work.
Thank you.
Really cute kids.
Thank you. That's my show and tells.
Okay. So thanks for bringing those.
Of course.
So back into the loan origination thing. You were one of the first people that I met as an agent, as a loan originator, and I still use you as often as possible because to me, you've proven yourself time and time again to be professional, really friendly, available, knowledgeable, all the great things that you're looking for in a professional relationship. And when an agent, whether they're new or seasoned,
mm-hmm.
when they first like meet someone like you, there's a level of trust that they're putting in you. I mean,
sure.
Sometimes it's a referral from another professional. So there's the trust in that person,
mm-hmm.
and then they refer them to you. But I guess the question is, how do you handle that somewhat
sure.
good pressure to know that someone's putting their trust in you? And what do you do to make sure that at the end, they're going to use you again,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, when we get a referral, from an agent, you want to protect that relationship first and foremost. So we always praise the referral partner and make sure that we protect where that business came from in the first place. That's the most important thing. But also we like to act as a second voice. I think that's very important too. It creates kind of a trust between everyone in the transaction. So when you first meet somebody, if somebody tells you, oh, you got to put in an offer $20K higher than the asking price, then if somebody else tells you the same thing, because that's what, that the market's demanding, it helps. So, I like to be a second voice for my referral partner as well. And I think that's honestly one of the most successful things that we've been doing that's been helping people get homes in this market. Is doing that. And then also, there was one more thing. You can cut this out. I'm trying to think.
Well, can I touch on a little bit what you just said? I've seen you do that for me, not only with my clients to back me up as far as my professional opinion or whatever I'm sharing with them. You're saying, yes, that's true. And that really helps the client to build trust with both of us. But also, multiple times when I've submitted offers and you're the loan originator on the buy side and I'm representing the buyer, I'll include you in the email that I send to the other agent and you respond right away and you back up the client's financial stability to be able to bring it to close.
Right.
And that really helps too, when you're submitting an offer to have the loan originator in the email also backing up the agent and the client. It's huge, really huge.
And I did remember the other thing I was going to say was the way that we view our business is that the agent is our client. So our client is our client, but our agent is also our client. So,
right.
And if you approach the business in that mindset, then you're good, because ultimately not only do I want to make our client happy, because that makes you look good, but I also want to make our agent happy so that recurring business happens, right? So
right. You might work with a client once, maybe twice, but with an agent, it's a big deal.
Right. So we're constantly updating them, weekly updates, making sure they know, everything that's going on at all times. But so I think that's really important, is that outlook that, not your customer is your client, but your agent is your client as well.
Yeah. If you're a real estate agent in Western New York and you're looking for a trusted mortgage partner, I highly recommend connecting with Amanda Bernardini at Cross Country Mortgage. Her job as a mortgage professional is to understand each borrower's goals and priorities, offering home financing options that fit their unique situations. Her priority is making sure clients know what's happening at every step of the mortgage process, providing guidance from application to closing and beyond. Building a trusted network is key to serving your clients better, and Amanda can be that reliable mortgage expert in your corner. Call her at 716-359-6612 or visit crosscountrymortgage.com/Amanda-Bernardini. I think a lot of our listeners, we're relatively new. This is our, I believe, 6th episode that we're recording, but I think that our main audience will become, or our goal is to have real estate agents and or other real estate professionals in the industry, but agents primarily. And so we've gotten some agents on the podcast giving advice to new agents or seasoned agents. But as a loan originator, do you have advice for a real estate agent, whether new or been around for a while, that would help them in this whole process of working with a loan originator?
My biggest thing is I have so much more success with agents that communicate with me during the offer process. That should be the time that the mortgage loan originator is most involved, most useful, structuring an offer. What can we do to make it more competitive? That's, within the means of the client. How can we get creative to win on this house? Like, are there any issues we're concerned about, and can we talk about them up front? Like, for example, appraisal gaps. Like, let's talk about that. Is there concern, And, I've had a couple transactions recently where we put an appraisal gap on it. It strengthens their offer. And, we talked about it in advance, and the agent had zero concerns about it appraising. So little things like that, just the communication up front, as opposed to me just sending in a pre-approval and then never talking to somebody, never going through the numbers with somebody. And then all of a sudden, months go by and maybe a contract comes in, maybe it doesn't. Like, I just find that there's a lot more success when they lean on the mortgage rep up front to help get that offer accepted during the search phase.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so important, not only for you and an agent, but for, every professional that's involved, like intimately with the transaction, the agent, the attorney, the loan originator, all that. Because if no one is talking, the client usually goes to the agent and asks a question. And if the agent isn't connected to all the other people and up to date with what's going on, then the answer is always, let me get back to you.
Right.
And then if they can't get a hold of you, or not that anyone would ever not be able to get a hold of you, but if, there's a delay.
Yeah.
And it holds up the whole process. So yeah, I fully agree with that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And especially for newer agents, I got to be honest with you, I see it all the time. Like, everyone's busy. So sometimes, if they don't have like the information readily available, like I get people all the time, they put in offers and they don't even really understand like the ins and outs of it. So like, again, just that communication up front, like making sure somebody seasoned is involved in helping you structure that. So
yes. And you know what? The number one advice that we get pretty much from everyone that I talk to, not even on the podcast, when I first started all that, is have people who know more than you around you at all times.
Yeah.
Mentors, people that you can lean on so that when you don't have an answer, you can go to them.
Right.
When you graduate from real estate school and you get your license, you really don't know anything.
Right.
Really, like as far as with the job. And there is a little bit of pressure, I feel, when I started, I thought that I needed to know everything.
Yeah.
And you just don't.
Yeah.
So that's why, I don't call you as much as I used to, but I used to call you 4 times a week probably just to ask you questions. And so, you were a big part of my beginnings and learning the ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that about you.
Of course.
What about, is there anything that you have on the horizon, something that you're working towards, some goal that you have that you're hoping to do soon or whatever?
Like professionally?
Yeah. It could be personal too if you want.
Work-life balance has been a big thing for me. So like finding people, like I'm really lucky right now. I have an amazing team. Like every single person on the team is just like I just never want to let them go, So like once
That's
you
great.
find that, you really want to, help them grow. And so like right now, I'm in a place with my business where I'm like good with that. And I want to like kind of just maybe increase the team and like help them grow now. Like that's where I'm at right now, is trying to figure out what that looks like.
Are you hoping to, now that you have a team around you that you've built up and trained and all that, you've built a culture around what you're doing and your level of like the expectations that you have based on how you work? Are you hoping to kind of like ease up a little bit so you have more time at home?
Not necessarily. Yeah. Yes and no.
Not ease up on the business, but ease up on.
Yeah. I don't want to work more. I think right now I'm working, but I think like basically, since I have people that I trust and that I know are, motivated, and kind of getting them to a point in their career where they're advancing and, growing the team per se, like maybe doing more business as a team as a whole, you know what I mean? But not me necessarily personally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole industry, but mortgage specifically, is constantly changing. You have to be up to date on all the things that are happening with interest rates and all the things that can affect those things. How do you stay up to date on all that? How do you make sure that you're like in the know?
So I really have to give props to my employer on this, because Cross Country Mortgage, they're the number one retail lender in the US, and it's with good reason. They like the best of the best loan officers. Like I am a tiny small fry when it comes to like the producers that work at Cross Country. So the whole point of me saying that is that they're constantly providing us with up-to-date everything. As soon as Fannie Freddie comes out with something, it's in our emails. Like we have our sales summit. Peyton Manning's actually coming to it next week.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not going. That was before I knew Peyton Manning was going. But yeah, we're constantly kept abreast with what the rate climate looks like, what impending changes are. And we have all those resources kind of internally. So I'm very fortunate, because I know not everybody has that at their fingertips. But like for the average, person that doesn't have access to that, like maybe MBS Highway is a good one, a good place to look for like where the rates are sitting at. Like if you just go on a random lender's website, like I know one of the things I see a lot is they'll advertise like a super low rate, and then in the fine print they'll say, charging 2% or whatever. So the best place is probably to look is MBS Highway for like an average in terms of rate.
Okay. We can totally add that to the show notes so that people have that resource.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, anything else that you have that you would want to share, we can add that so that people can easily find it. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything you would like to promote, a program that you're offering, or just something?
I mean, yeah, a program that we're offering. I mean, we're doing the whole refinance credits right now. So like basically what that means is if you close with us right now, we'll give you a credit toward your future refinance. So that's big, because, most people purchasing a home right now are going to be refinancing in the future.
Yeah.
So that's a big promo that we have going on right now. But, I'm happy to give anyone a second opinion or just talk about any questions that they have, even if they're not in the market for a home, any questions about credit or, financing in general. I'm happy to discuss it with them. So
yeah, absolutely. And where can people find you online?
Well, the website would be...
The website, social media, your phone number, whatever you want to give is fine.
Sure. So my phone number is 716-359-6612.
Okay.
And you can also find me at crosscountrymortgage.com/Amanda Bernardini.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. It's always great to have you.
Had so much fun.
Me too. And hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
I love it. Thanks,
you.
Erik.
Hey, Erik Arnett here. If you're thinking about making a change in your real estate career, Symphony Real Estate might be just what you're looking for. We've got the tech, the support, and a team that's always in your corner. And our professional development isn't just about more training and more meetings. It's about real-world knowledge that helps you level up your skills and your confidence. If you're curious, let's talk. Call me or text me at 716-213-8784 or visit symphonyofhomes.com.